up, everybody? It is Saturday afternoon, so naturally, we're going to talk some Canes football while I make a little cafecito. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. It all helps with exposure and whatnot. But while I prepare this, let's talk some spring football so far. So what has happened in the first 3 spring practices that we can actually look at and think, okay, this is improvement, or, oh no, this is not good. First off, and while I have my reservoir filled with water and the cafe, I'm going to go ahead and put that here so it cooks. While we start talking about that, first things first, injuries. That was a massive issue last year. It seems to be better this year. There are still a lot of people out. The good news is none of them seem to be that serious. It all seems to be more precautionary than anything. Aside from Zion Nelson, I think he's the one guy that's still coming back from a serious injury. We don't see him out there. We haven't seen him really out there practicing since last year. So that one's a big one. And he's a big X factor for this O-line. Again, I've said it before. If he can come back and assume his role as a veteran left tackle, a guy that's been looked at as high as a first-round pick, that would be massive for this O-line. But the good thing is I think you have enough guys that even if he doesn't come back, I think it could still be okay. More than okay, even. So there's that. The injuries were much better. The biggest one being Leonard Taylor. It doesn't seem super serious. I think what's going on there is more precautionary. So next, the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks so far looking sharp. They are, let me get to the comments here. Lex, what up, dude? Says send me a link. My hands are a little full right now, and this is not going to be a long one. So next time, Lex, I'll send you a link because I actually have my phone propped up. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it right now. But what was I talking about? Quarterbacks. So Emory Williams, he has impressed a lot of people, and this will be a theme in this live stream. He looks the part. There's a few guys that the media's been saying that about. Emory Williams, 6'4", every bit of 6'4". His size is legit. He's got a strong lower half. He has a frame that he can add more muscle over the next year or two. So I'm liking what I'm seeing and hearing there. And I heard he's very accurate. He's putting in the extra time to work. So I think, like we all thought, I think we all got a good one in Emory Williams. Jakari Brown. Here's my thing with Jakari Brown. If he can get to a point where he's an average passer, if he can take that next step where he's an average passer this year, that's fine with me because then he could really be used as a weapon, in my opinion. You could use multiple packages where you throw him in there. It's not just, it's 3rd and 1 and we can't get a first down unless he runs the ball. No. You throw in some wrinkles where he maybe pulls up and throws the ball, things like that. Tyler Van Dyke, looking healthy, looking sharp so far, throwing the ball pretty accurately, kind of looks like his old self again. He looks re-energized. That's good news. Also, I was thinking about this offense and what Shannon Dawson wants to run as I pour my sugar here. I'm not going to do it too sweet. I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons of sugar for the coffee this time. Usually I do 3 as we wait for the cafecito to cook. I was thinking about this offense, and I talked about it with Flo. This is an offense, kind of like Rhett Lashley's, where we can beat up on the bad teams. That's a good thing for one big reason to me. A couple of big reasons. Number one, you get your starters rest, because if you jump out to a 3-4 touchdown lead against I'm just throwing a name out there. I don't even know, with the reshuffling of the conference, I don't know if we play them this year. Virginia. Let's say we jump out to a 28-3 lead at the half. Great. Now you can rest some starters. That's more rest, less mileage on them. Number two, that is valuable playing time you're getting for your freshmen. So if TVD goes out there, throws a few touchdowns, and we, like last year, for example, got off to a hot start against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech kind of closed the gap, so, we all know how dicey that game got, but if he kept his foot on the gas and halfway through the third quarter, we're up 3-4 touchdowns, great. Now you can put in Jakari Brown. Now he is getting valuable reps, so he can improve his passing attack. He can improve that accuracy. So that was just a thought I had. I think this offense with Shannon Dawson and, what he and Coach Cristobal plan to run, I think there's going to be more opportunities for that, because what's one way to build depth? Get those young guys actual playing time, actual reps. What's one way to do that? Blow teams out quickly. So hopefully we'll see that. All right. So quarterbacks. Sorry, I got my notes here. Went through that. By the way, I wish I could have gotten a look at the young running backs, Mark Fletcher, Chris Johnson. Wish we could have gotten a look at them in the spring, but unfortunately, neither one of them enrolled early. I thought at least one of them did. I don't think either one. It looks like neither one of them did. So that's a shame because, for incoming true freshmen, them getting those spring practice reps is super important if you want them to contribute right away. That's usually a good indicator if you're going to have a freshman that's going to contribute right away. So, but I have no doubt that they will. Both are supremely talented. Hopefully they're using this time to get big, put on muscle, get to that size that they need to be for to play a Power 5 schedule. And then what else have we heard? Offensive line. Heard a lot of Francis Mauigoa getting first team reps. That's great. You're going to, like I said last week, you're going to see a lot of shuffling around of that O-line because they're going to be trying different combinations. Especially, again, if Zion Nelson does not come back, you got to find what fits. Do you kick Jalen Rivers out to tackle? Do you leave him at guard? Do you leave Javion Cohen at guard? Kick him out to tackle? I think he's been getting reps at guard so far. Pancake, does he get any playing time? I think if you, in today's day and age with NIL and all that stuff, I don't know how we lured Pancake over here, whether it was we were able to sell him on where this team is going, where this offensive line is going. Maybe Coach Cristobal promised him that, hey, I could develop you into a first-round pick. Look what I did with Penei Sewell. Or the NIL opportunities were just plentiful down here. Who knows? You got to get that guy playing time, in my opinion. I don't think he needs to start, but you got to get him playing time. And then, of course, you got Chris Washington getting reps. I think I saw Lamar Seymour getting reps. That's good. Again, building depth. You want to have at least like 8 guys that you can rotate in at any given time. So, good things I'm hearing there. Inez Cooper, down, this is crazy, down to 348 pounds. And he's from like 380 or 390, something crazy like that. So he's 6'6", 348. And if you look at him during his last interview, he looks trim. He's carrying it like it's 285. So Inez Cooper, I think you've got, without a doubt, in my opinion, your starter at right guard. You got him at right guard, Matt Lee at center. Jalen Rivers somewhere is starting on the line. I don't know if it's guard or tackle at this point. Who else? You got, turn that around. Man, I'm drawing a blank. You got Mauigoa possibly starting. Who knows? But yeah, you got at least 3 or 4 guys that you know are going to start somewhere on the line there. And that you feel good about. Let's see what else. Oh, one thing I wanted to go over. I liked reading this, that we have more guys stepping up and being vocal leaders. Guys like Tyler Van Dyke. Your quarterback stepping up and being a vocal leader? Yeah, I like that. That's something that I saw back in the day from Ken Dorsey. You saw it more the more experience he got. Early on, you didn't see that much with him. Santana Moss, guys like that were more the vocal leaders. But as they got older and they spent more time in the program, it wasn't so much Santana, it wasn't so much Joaquin Gonzalez. When those guys graduated and got drafted, then it became Ken Dorsey, Brett Romberg. Why do I mention that? Because Matt Lee and Tyler Van Dyke are the guys that seem to be stepping up as vocal leaders, which is awesome to see. And those are the guys that you want. You don't want, like, I don't know, a cornerback or, like, you know, a guard or somebody like that to step up as lead. You want the main guys, the guys that are driving the offense. Oh, let's move that coffee out of the way. All right, that is lava hot. Now for my favorite part. Hang on, folks. If you missed last week, please catch my Cafecito Cuban coffee making tutorial from last Saturday. It was the last episode I did, if I'm not mistaken. But I am going to do everybody's favorite part, the espumita. Here we go. So, what else? You got the offensive line, guys stepping up and being vocal leaders. Oh, and the defense. Caleb Spencer, I'm hearing great things about him. Again, looking the part because, you know, he's big. He's got the size. Jaden Wayne, who looks the part, but I think he's a guy that could put on even more weight. He's coming in at like 240 something right now. He could probably bulk up to like into the 260s, where if you want to be like a first rounder, you got to get to that point. Richard says, John, I heard they want to kick Jalen Rivers out to tackle, and don't forget about McCoy playing tackle as well. I think that's the guy I was trying to think of earlier, McCoy. Excuse me while I add a little more sugar, because you know what? I don't think 2 tablespoons was enough. There we go. All right, let's try that now. Remember, you want to get a consistency with the espumita. That's like a paste. Not quite. But yeah, I've always thought Jalen Rivers was with his elite size, 6'5", 340 pounds, can move like a deer. Those are the guys that you do eventually kick out to tackle. That's the eventual plan with him, or an eventual plan with guys like that. So if that's what they want to do, I'm totally good with that. McCoy, I mean, he was pushing for playing time last year until he got hurt. So that's another guy. You got McCoy, Jalen Rivers. Let's leave out Zion Nelson. I want to count how many guys that you think or we can agree on that are going to be in the trenches and either starting or going to be in the rotation. You got possibly McCoy. You got Matt Lee, Javion Cohen, Jalen Rivers. Francis Maligoa, I think pretty much everybody can agree he's, if not going to start, he's going to get some playing time. I think Pancake is going to get some playing time. We're already up to 6. I'm leaving out Zion Nelson. Let's see who else. I've mentioned Cohen. I've mentioned Matt Lee. Inez Cooper, 7. So that's 7 really strong ones. And then, of course, you got Chris Washington and Lamar Seymour, who, if they can develop a little bit, maybe you can depend on those guys to rotate in. And now I'm not even counting Sagapolo. You know, I'm not counting Dennis, the backup center. You got some dudes that have gotten reps. We have a lot of bodies on the O-line, so that's promising. Chris, what are you saying? John, you think Nigel Kelly going to have a big year? How about Cyrus Moss? Cyrus Moss, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, let's see if we got the espumita ready. There we go. A little runny, but again, this is not going to have too much sugar. I don't want it overly sweet. Here we go. Oh, a little spillage. Nigel E. Kelly, I think, is going to benefit a lot from the tutelage of a guy like Jason Taylor. So is Jaden Wayne. I think Jaden Wayne's going to be special. But Nigel E. Kelly, I think, takes a big step forward this year and is an all-ACC level player. Cyrus Moss, I'm not sure. They're concerned about his size, and there's other guys that could leapfrog him in that starting lineup or in the depth chart in general. And we all know Mario Cristobal likes guys with size. Excuse me. So I don't know. Cyrus Moss, he's a guy that's so talented. If it were me, I would find some way to get him on the field, whether it's dropping back as an outside linebacker or something like that, or, you know, as like a striker kind of thing. I don't know. You plug him in somewhere because he's such a freak athlete. If you can't get him to put on the weight, some guys just have trouble putting on the weight. It is what it is. It's not, you know, most people don't hate eating, you know? So if they have trouble putting on the weight, I don't know if it's like a question of work ethic or discipline, or it's just his body doesn't do it. You know, unfortunately, some guys have that issue. But if he's putting in the work and he kind of, you know, shows up and makes plays kind of like he did in the spring game last year, I think they'll find a spot for him. I just don't think he's going to be a star as an edge rusher unless he puts on a little more weight, unfortunately. But we'll see. You know, I don't rule out the possibility that Cyrus Moss can be a contributor on this defense. I just don't know where at this point. But good question. Demetrius, what's going on, sir? So, yeah, just wanted to go over some points from spring practice. I'm almost through my notes here. Let's see what else we got. Jaden Wayne, like I said, is impressing right now. Oh, and there seems to be an overall kind of not a change in the energy so much, but like an uptick in how hard guys are practicing. I am hearing a lot of that. Guys kind of took it up a notch, you know, going in and out of drills harder, running through and, you know, finishing reps, things like that. Just overall culture changes because we now have guys on the team like a Matt Lee. Matt Lee is a culture changer because that's the kind of guy you want on your O-line. That's the kind of leader you want. Just listening to him talk. That guy's a culture changer. Javion Cohen, same thing. The 2 5-star freshmen, especially Francis, to come in and just impress this much as a true freshman. 6'5", 330, and looks great carrying it. So little by little, you still have more roster to flip, I think. We're not done with this, but little by little that we're going to turn the corner in the whole change in the culture thing. What's up, Michael? So, you know, that I'm hearing that, and I'm hearing the guys are vibing well with the new coaches. They, I think, had a little trouble, especially, and also the guys that have since transferred out. Just the whole group from last year had a little bit more trouble vibing and relating to the new coaching staff because I don't think a lot of those pieces necessarily fit together. I think a lot of them were big names, big splashy hires that we all got excited about. I got very excited about Josh Gaddis, Rose Award winner. I mean, if you weren't excited about him, you know, you were probably in the overwhelming minority. Because most people, I think, work is like, why wouldn't you be? He's considered the best assistant in the country, literally. But it just didn't work. It didn't fit. Guys didn't get along with him. Players didn't get along with him, and so forth. I think that was the case with a few coaches that have since been let go or found new opportunities elsewhere. So, let's see. Who was number 41? I don't know off the top of my head. If anybody in the chat can chime in who number 41 is. And there's dual numbers. I don't know if you mean 41 on offense or defense. I'm guessing it's defense. So, you know, guys are relating to the new coaches. They like their energy and they're practicing harder for them. So that's great to see and great to hear. Now, I wanted to touch on this real quick before I go. The whole, I know this comes up in a lot of the Canes YouTube channels and shows and all that. Landing some big-time wide receiver talent. First of all, unless we have a disaster of a season, which I don't foresee happening, I think it's going to be much improved from last year. I don't see us losing a guy like JoJo Trader. I think most likely we're going to land him. That's just my thought. I think he's this year's Reuben Bain. I think he's this year's Wesley Bassane. I think that's the dude in our backyard, like, hey, you can't miss on this kid. And I think we'll land him. There are other guys. There's Chance Robinson. There's, you know, Jeremiah Smith, of course, being the big one. Current Ohio State commit. Look, in order to land a Jeremiah Smith, and Jeremiah Smith is like a Chris Olave type of talent, a Justin Jefferson type of talent, We're not just going to go out and sell them on the program right now and get them to flip. You got to show them something. You got to win football games. You have got to go out and at the very least win games you should win. Win those games impressively. Maybe score some points. Have an exciting offense. You can do that while still being like 8-5, while still having like a realistic record. You know, maybe you finally give Clemson a close game and that's a shootout. Maybe we go up to Tallahassee and upset them. You know, things. Then maybe you can flip them. You get him and JoJo Trader, now you're really cooking with gas. Now we're ahead of schedule offensively. John, is Mario going to get more guys in the transfer portal? And when does the transfer portal start again? I think May is the next window to actually acquire more talent. Yes, please hit the like button, people. John, how about Josiah Trader? Hope we can get him. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I think the likelihood is high. As of right now, I mean, things can change. It's signing days 9 months away, whatever it is. So that is an eternity in college football. So anything can happen. You only help your case with guys like him when you win football games. And we got to go out and take care of business against some of those opponents. We cannot have a lackluster showing against Miami of Ohio. You can't have an upset loss against, you know, whoever else we're playing. You can't have those upsets against the Dukes and Virginias of the world. Although I know, well, no, I don't think we play Duke this year. But you get what I'm saying. You got to take care of business. You got to have a fun-looking offense. You got to have an offense that looks wide receiver friendly. I'm not saying you got to go out there and win 11 games and beat Clemson at home. Not saying you do that. You can pretty much say that, yeah, Mario's going to get whoever he wants at that point. That would be amazing. But more realistically, I see us getting JoJo Trader, but adding another 5-star like Jeremiah Smith, like, you know, he's that dude, you know? So you're going to have to impress him. You're going to have to impress him with the on-field product, at least to a degree. I'm not saying you got to win a championship, but you got to show vast improvement. That being said, though, yes, we do need a couple safeties for sure. We need to add, in my opinion, in the portal, add a safety, add a D tackle, running back, and a receiver. Those are the 4 big ones. Can't have another season like last year. Agreed. So I'll end on this. When it comes to wide receiver, where am I? Oh, that's why I put him up here. Oh, Cafecito cups. We cannot have a situation where we're putting all our eggs in the Jeremiah Smith basket like last year. We put all our eggs in the Brandon Inniss basket. We put all our chips in. We went all in on trying to get Brandon Inniss. And of course, at the time, I don't think we knew we were going to have a 5-7 season when we started doing that. But that being said, you can't put all your chips into one guy. And I respect Mario for, you know, betting on himself and thinking he can get him. And maybe if we went 8-5, we would have landed him and had an exciting offense. Who knows? But I don't want to see a situation like that where you put all your chips for that guy, but you miss out on these really talented 4-stars. You could have had a William Foles, let's say, Aiden Mazzell, guys of that caliber that are talented 4-star guys. They could be developed into maybe even first-rounders. You never know. It's 3-stars have been developed into first-rounders. You never know. Oh, thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. We can't have that. You can't pass on, like I haven't delved too deep into the wide receiver prospects, but I know about Chance Robinson, let's say. If Chance Robinson is your consolation prize, that's a pretty damn good consolation prize. You can get a guy like that. Hell, if you get Chance Robinson and a couple other talented outside guys, that's a success in my opinion. You know, you get JoJo, that's the cherry on top. But remember, at the end of the day, we are getting talented guys every single year. They're not being developed. That's the key here. So I'll end with that while I enjoy my cafecito. Cheers. Please hit the like button, subscribe button. Got a busy afternoon ahead of me, so I just wanted to hop on and give you my thoughts on all things Canes. So please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I can't throw up to you right now. I have a cup in my hand, but go Canes. Have a good night, everybody.